Hey everybody, got another video here for you. So it's time to fit the Locknut here and take a look at it. The first thing I see is that the back end of the shelf here is a little bit low, which causes the whole thing to kind of tilt back some. Tilt back that way. So it's not quite flush against this, so it might require a little bit something in the behind it or on the tail end. And then taking a look at the overall nut slot height, if you push it up flush against the fingerboard and then take your fret pulling guard and use as a fret rocker, you get a little bit of wiggle. So this is low by perhaps as much as a millimeter. So I'm going to start by getting a little bit of 1 mil shim going underneath this thing and then checking the nut slot height again. Okay, got some 1 mil stock here and use the aviation shears and cut a little piece that's the same size as the bottom of the nut and put it up in position, and it's looking and feeling a whole lot better. Like this is where it should be. So you put your rocker on and now you got a little bit of wiggle. Instead of it rocking on the first fret, it wiggles because it doesn't touch the first fret, but there's not a huge gap. So yeah, so that's going to probably do it as far as like the nut and shim. Just glue this onto the nut and then glue the whole shebang up against the back of the fingerboard, and that should take care of it. So the next thing is I need to adjust the truss rod, and then I can put the truss rod cover on. I was checking the photos of the original one that I've saved the website. It's a Pinterest page, and yeah, I saved the page. On an original one, the top of the truss rod cover comes up to about there actually, but this only comes up to about there. But it's okay, it covers the hole and it should be close enough for government work, I suppose. It looks more correct, shall we say. And yeah, I'm not gonna be obsessive compulsive about this thing the way some people are about like original Gibsons and how can you tell if it's a real one and all that stuff. You know, it's a tuner, who cares? So yeah, time to find a straight edge and get this thing flat. Okay, put a straight edge on it, and it rocks ever so slightly in the center here, so it's got a bit of back bow, and I'll adjust it up here. Okay, at this point, now it's got just a little bit of relief because it'll wiggle here in the middle. So now I'm going to bring it back the other direction until it stops wiggling, and then it should be pretty much flat. Okay, that right there looks pretty good. It's pretty much flat at this end and this end, and it's not wiggling in the center. It's There's probably a smidge of light coming through underneath right in this area, but it's solid contact there and here and here. So that's probably as flat as it'll get. Unless you want to actually, level the frets, but it's going to be so close that way already. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Okay, continuing to work on the guitar here from top to bottom. And got the tuners done, the truss rods adjusted, got the cover on, got the Locknut on. And so the next thing is the fretboard and the frets. And these are actually in really nice shape. And they're actually kind of hemispherical on the ends too. Let me see if I can get a close up. Okay, there you go. It's hard to get this thing to focus, but that gives you an idea. So yeah, they're looking pretty good here. So I don't think I really have to worry about doing anything to the frets at all. Yeah, so the frets look fine. So I guess the next step's going to be a little bit of mineral oil for the fingerboard. That's soaking in pretty quickly. I dosed it down and already it's starting to all soak in. It'll probably be ready for another coat in 10-15 minutes, something like that. Looks like this isn't as bad as I thought it was. It's been half an hour and it hasn't all soaked in yet, so give it another half an hour and it might be ready. I might give it like just one more coat. And then moving on down, further down the guitar, I was checking out the situation here with the with the pickup mounting rings. And these are nice units. They're metal with a satin black finish, and they're curved units as well, so they conform to the body. And they're, correct Gibson style pieces, so you get a tall one and a short one, and they're both angled for the angled top of the Gibson carve, which this actually sort of follows. So I was trying to decide whether I want to use the tall or the short one here, and I want to get the bridge hooked up and get a straight edge on it and figure out exactly where the strings are going to lie, more or less, in order to decide which one would be more appropriate. And for the bridge, the roller bridge that I had, it looks pretty much like this. That came off an arch top, didn't fit these OEM posts, so I ordered up this thing, which is a small post style roller top bridge for a Gibson TOM, not an arch top, and it has small posts. This is let's see here, get it out of the insert. Okay, this is the OEM post, and this is the small post, and as you can see, they're very different in size. So, but I lucked out because both of them apparently are M6 threads, so these small posts fit in the inserts that the stock large posts use. So I can just go like that. Take this one out. Get the new post. Take it out of its insert and screw it into the stock insert, and I'm good to go. Just like that. Get them all the way down. Probably have to be raised a bit, I would imagine. And intonation hasn't really been set yet on this thing, but survey says, do we have it on spacing? We don't have it on spacing, no. How close are we? Hold on. It looks like they're just a little bit too close together, is what's going on. Because it'll fit on that one, but that one's too close, or it'll fit on this one, but that one's too close. So yeah, they're about a millimeter too close together. I'm going to have to think about this for a minute. Well, I dug out the arch top roller TOM in the hopes that maybe the post spacing was a little bit narrower and it would fit, but the slots for the posts, this is the arch top one, this is the solid body style, and yeah, this hole is actually even bigger than this hole, and so this doesn't even fit on the posts, whereas this does. So I think the best approach is going to be to take out the lock screws on both sides so that they don't get damaged, and then get in there with the Dremel and grind down about 1/2 inch on the inside here. I mean 1/2 millimeter, and yeah, 1/2 inch, and 1/2 millimeter on the inside here, and then it should slip onto the post, because it's real close, but not quite there. So hard part's going to be finding a stone or a burr or something small enough to get in there. Okay, I found this, which just barely fits in there. And I've already taken just barely fits in there. And I've already taken the grub screws out, so time to have at it, see what happens here. Well, it is working. As you can see, it's grinding away there, down at the bottom side. So yeah, and this is only on like lowest speed, so I'm gonna grind away at it for a bit, and I'll be back. Okay, I switched up from the stone here, the pink grinding stone, to a small diamond burr, a ball burr, and a cheap one. And yeah, it cuts a little faster than this does, but it's still not all that. Then I remembered that if a small diamond cuts a little faster, then a big diamond might cut a lot faster. These are the cheap diamond files that came in like one of those refretting kits or something you get on Amazon. And so yeah, I'm using this thing and using it to file down the bridge here, and I'm getting a good rate of material removal. So yeah, this shouldn't take too long, maybe 5 minutes aside kind of a thing, and I ought to be in the house. So I'll be back in a minute. I got it. It's on. It's tight, but it's on. Yeah, we need a little prying or wiggling here to pull back off, but yeah, see there. Yeah, it does go on just barely now. I can always grind on it some more in order to make it a little easier to fit on, but it does go on there. So yeah, what I can do is I can pop it off. That makes it easier to turn, and then pop it back on. Or that I shouldn't be lazy. I should grind on it more so that you can just turn these without having to take it off. So guess that's what I'll be doing for the next, like, I don't know, 15 minutes, maybe half an hour. Okay, I got it all ground down, and wait a sec, let me show you what I did. What I did was I got lazy. I took the handle off the end of the file and I put it into the drill, and then I used that in order to basically hone out the post holes on this thing. And now it goes up and down with no problems. It just drops right on the way it's supposed to. So put a straight edge on it, and it's all the way down. And yeah, this is going to be fine as far as the height goes. And it looks like I'm going to want the taller of the two pickup ring mounting rings. So this is the one I'm going to use. Okay, the screws for the original pickup ring are way too short for this thing. And they're like a size M2, 2mm. And I don't have anything that small and that long. So I'm going to step it up to an M3, which is still more or less that size, but these holes are just a little under 3mm. So I'm going to drill them out to 3mm. Okay, got the pickup mounted in the ring. I mix and match the parts. I used the screws that came with the Seymour Duncan, but I used the shorter springs from the original guitar, and that seemed to work out best. The Seymour Duncan springs were like twice as long as they needed to be, and yeah, you know how hard these things are to get on in the first place. So the longer the spring, the harder it is. So this works out just fine, and everything's looking quite nice, and the holes have been drilled out, so the screws fit quite nicely. Let me get a screw here, and yeah, just like that. So yeah, that's going to look real good. And because of the fact that these were 2mm holes and these are 3mm screws, yeah, they're a little bit fatter. I don't really want to drill anything out, wallow things out and such. So I had a choice of this length of screw, which gives you about that much bite, or something that was like much longer, like about like that. And I was afraid with the longer one I'd get into issues with it being tight and such. So I'm going to go with the shorter screws. And now it's time to string this thing in and screw it down. I think I've got the ring on backwards. Sure enough, it's backwards. This side goes to the bridge. So I got to take the pickup out, flip it around. Okay, got it turned around. Now the toll side is at the bottom. And time to give this another try. Should go a little easier now that these have been widened out for 3mm. Yeah, see, now it fits correctly. The curve on this side and over on this side, it's all nice and straight and flat. So yeah, now it matches the body contour correctly. And it's just the way an LP pickup ring is supposed to sit. Like I said before, they come in two different heights, and the tall one is the bridge one, and this is a bridge one, so everything's correct. Okay, it's time to wire this thing up. This should be pretty straightforward. This is standard Seymour Duncan color coding on this thing. So red and white here. Can't really see the red on it. There's the red. Can't see the red on the red guitar. It disappears. But red and white, that's the split wires. This thing doesn't have a coil split. Well, it's not going to implement it. So these get twisted together. And green is ground and black is hot. And the bare wire is also the ground. And so the green and the bare wire get twisted together. And they're going to get soldered like to the back of the pot. And hot wire goes on the left terminal down here. It doesn't really have anything on it. And let's see, the center terminal is the output that's going to the volume control. That's the bridge ground wire. That also has to go back on the pot. And the other lug, the right-hand lug here, is bent over and is already grounded to the pot. So that's the ground side, and that's the hot side. In the middle is the output. And now it's time to get to soldering. Well, I think that's going to do it for this video. So, until the next one, everybody, have a good one.